So, welcome to Seasonal Shifts. This is a journaling and meditation workshop that I'll be offering quarterly and offering as it is today, the winter solstice, offering it on the solstice and equinoxes to move with the seasons. And really, it's a way to check in with yourself, check in with your body, and see where you could bring in more joy in your life, see where there might be room to grow and room to change if that's what you're looking for. And also just to check in to see where you're at. Sometimes we kind of keep moving and forget to check in with ourselves. So I'm providing this free workshop as a way to do that and a way to come into your body and really find the answers for yourself. So we'll start with doing some journaling work and add a little bit of meditation in various parts of the class. And then we'll also end with a longer meditation. So making sure you have paper and a writing utensil for the journaling aspects of this workshop. And then also making sure that you're in a seated place where you feel you could sit for a little while. You can also choose to have a place to lie down during the meditation if you prefer that. So finding any way to be as luxurious during this class and finding ways that you can settle in as best you can. So we'll start with a little exercise that is called the body compass. And so what this is a way to check in with the body to see what we're going to balance negative and positive things, and then we're going to use that to rate different aspects of our lives. So when you're ready, finding that seated or lying down shape to start in our body compass. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes, or you might keep a soft gaze in front of you. Taking a few moments maybe to notice your breath, maybe to bring your attention inward. You might start to notice your inhales and exhales. And starting to become aware of a neutral space for you. So we're finding some time to settle into the body, to settle into the space. So we'll consider where you are in this moment as your neutral. And we'll come back to this space a few times during this exercise. So taking a moment or two to find your neutral, to settle in, to allow yourself to ground into the space, maybe noticing your breathing, maybe even checking in with your body, noticing how your body is resting. And then when you're ready, start to bring a negative memory to mind. So this wouldn't be the worst thing that's ever happened to you, but something that maybe didn't leave you feeling right, didn't feel good for you. Just something that felt like a negative memory, but that was not the worst possible thing. Something that wasn't great, but was okay potentially. So bringing that into your mind, envisioning that memory as best you can. And also as best you can, starting to bring into any sensations in your body, any smells or anything you saw or heard, allowing yourself to come into that space. So really noticing that memory, noticing how your body feels, noticing any emotions that might be coming up for you, and really checking in with what that brings up. And then we'll rate that memory on a scale of 0 being neutral to -10. So -10 being this is the worst possible thing ever and this feels horrible. And -1 being like, oh, this is not great, but it's okay. And 0 being neutral. So on that scale of -1 to -10, where does this memory lie for you? So checking in with yourself to notice where this negative memory might lie for you on that scale. Again, -10 is being the worst, this is horrible, and -1 being the lesser on that scale. And once you found a number, starting to let go of that memory. So bringing yourself back to that neutral space where you were a moment ago. Maybe you get there by coming back to your breath, starting to become aware of your breathing. Letting go of that memory, letting go of any feelings or thoughts that came up with that memory. Fully releasing any expectations or anything having to do with that memory as best you can, coming back to your neutral state. And if you'd like, before we move on to the next phase of this body compass, you might choose to write down what that memory was and what number came up for you as well. So feel free to write that down if you'd like, or you don't have to. But what we'll be doing is using this as a gauge to figure out how you feel about different aspects of your life. So you can also bring, if you are journaling, mentioning any feelings and thoughts that came up as well. So then coming back to your space of neutral, maybe taking a few breaths to check in, starting to notice how your body is resting, noticing your breath, maybe bringing your attention to your breathing once again, becoming aware of that neutral space within you, letting go of any thoughts or emotions or feelings coming up. And then when you're ready, we'll do the opposite of what we just did. So when you're ready, starting to recall a positive memory. Again, this isn't the most positive thing that's ever happened to you, but a positive memory that comes to mind. And doing the same thing we did a moment ago with the negative memory. So bringing that positive memory into your mind, into your vision as best you can. And allowing yourself to feel it in your body, noticing anything you might have heard during that memory, anything you might have seen, anything you might have been feeling. Maybe noticing what you might have been feeling in your body and where that might show up. So checking in with your body and with your vision of your positive memory. And then when you're ready, this time, bringing it and rating it on a scale of +1 to +10. So again, 0 is neutral. +1 is, oh, this is positive, but the lower end of the scale. And +10 being, this is the most happiest moment of my life. This is the best memory I have. So finding that number on the positive scale from +1 to +10, where would you rate this memory for yourself? So checking in with yourself, noticing what number might come up for you with this memory, taking your time getting there. And when you feel you've found that number, you can start to let go of this memory. So starting to release that from your mind's eye, from your vision, starting to let go of any of those sensations or feelings or emotions that might have come up with that memory. Once again, coming back to that neutral space. Maybe it involves taking a few big breaths, allowing yourself to notice what might be coming up for you, coming back to your neutral space, releasing that memory as best you can. And then once you make your way back to neutral, once you feel you've released both of those memories, If you'd like, you can once again come back to your journal and maybe write down anything about that positive memory that you'd like, and you might choose to write down the number that you chose to define that memory. So taking a few moments to record what might have come up for you in the body compass, especially if you didn't do that before, if you'd like to. And then when you're ready, we're going to evaluate different aspects of your life. So you could choose what these aspects might be. So you might choose career as one, you might choose relationships as another, maybe love life is another, you might choose personal life, or if there's anything more specific that you would want to evaluate. So maybe there's a specific relationship, maybe there's a specific person or a specific situation in your life that you would like to evaluate, as we just did with the body compass, feel free to write that down. So writing down all of the different aspects of your life that you would like to examine today, and giving some space. So writing, maybe writing career and then giving some space for you to have notes, and then writing the next one, giving some space. So taking a few moments to think about what those different aspects might be. So again, they can be extremely specific, or they can be a bit more vague and overarching. And then once you've found what those are, walking through each one. So as an example, say career was your first one, taking a few moments, maybe once again, to close your eyes if you'd like, or keeping a soft gaze in front of you, and bringing that aspect of your life into your vision, into your mind's eye. So starting to focus on that aspect. So maybe it's career, maybe it's something else. And then starting to notice from there what shows up in your body. What sensations might be showing up in your body? What emotions and feelings might be showing themselves? Where might they be manifesting? And when you're ready and able to find, okay, this is coming up for this part of my life, how does that rate on that body compass scale? So this time, the scale goes from +10 all the way down to -10. So you can sort of imagine it as we have +10 to +1, then zeros are neutral, then we have -1 to -10. So finding that number to rate that part of your life, and you're basing it on what's coming up in your body, what emotions and feelings are coming up for you. And so we're going to take some time to really work through the different aspects. So if you had multiple aspects, feel free to, in your own time, work through each one as we just did. So again, when you're ready, thinking of that aspect of your life, and maybe starting to come into your body, maybe noticing your breath, taking a few moments to come back to that neutral space for yourself. And then when you bring that aspect of your life in your vision, in your mind, starting to notice what comes up, what feelings, what emotions, what sensations in your body come up. Maybe there's even things you're hearing or certain thoughts that might be coming up for you. So start to become aware of what those might be. And when you're ready to find words for them, you can start to write that down underneath where you wrote that part of your life. And you can also start to find where that lies on the body compass. So is that in the positive realm of +1 to +10, 10 being the most positive? Is it neutral at 0? Or is it in the negative realm of -1 to -10, with -10 being the most negative? So taking your time to check in with that. So maybe you looked at career, maybe relationships was another one, maybe love life is another one, or personal life. Maybe there's another aspect, or maybe you chose to be more specific. So maybe there were specific people, specific situations that you wanted to evaluate. So taking your time to continue to do that. If there's more aspects of your life you want to take notice. So again, always coming back to that neutral space. So whenever you're done with one aspect of your life, allowing yourself to come back to neutral, and doing that by releasing that from your mind's eye, doing that by noticing your breath, bringing your attention to your breath or your body, and allowing yourself, if you can, in your body to let go of any sensations or feelings or emotions that came up for you. Again, checking in, finding that neutral space for yourself, and then bringing that aspect of your life into your mind's eye, noticing that, feeling any feelings that come up, any emotions, any bodily sensations, any thoughts, anything at all that comes up that's notable. And then rating it on that scale, that body compass scale of +10 to +1, 0 being neutral, or -1 to -10. Again, the tens are the most negative or most positive. And if you are already done with all your life aspects, we'll move into a little meditation to sit with what came up. So feel free to continue along if you're still working through each aspect of your life, journaling as you would like, taking the time to come to that neutral space, noticing what's coming up, bringing it into your mind's eye, noticing the emotions and the feelings and sensations, checking in with your body, and then rating it from +10 being the most positive to +1 being the least positive, 0 being neutral, and -1 being the least negative, to -10 being the most negative. Checking in with yourself. And then writing down anything that comes up for you, anything you want to make note of, writing down what you rated each aspect of your life as, taking your time. We'll continue with this for about the next 10 minutes. So, again, continuing moving through your list of your life aspects as best you can, doing the same check in with each aspect of your life. You can be as specific or as vague as you would like, as general as you would like. And then when you're ready, once you have moved into all the aspects of your life, we'll start to find a meditation. And so to do that, you might start to find a seated or lying down shape wherever you feel you'd like to rest. So, again, if you're not ready for the meditation, that's okay. I'll repeat this as well. And then maybe closing your eyes or keeping a soft gaze in front of you. And once again, as we have done before in this class, maybe starting to bring your focus on your breath. So you might start to notice your inhales and exhales. And without judgment, without trying to change anything, allowing your breath to be what it is in this moment. And maybe noticing what it is, whether it's long or short, maybe it's fast or slow. So checking in with yourself And no matter what's coming up, giving yourself some compassion for what that is without judgment, without needing to change anything. And then you might start to bring your attention to your body, maybe noticing how your body is feeling now. So maybe noticing if your body feels a little different from the beginning of class. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there are new sensations in your body. Maybe there are old sensations. So checking in with how your body is resting and how your body is feeling in this moment. And maybe taking a few moments to notice how your feet might be resting. Maybe bringing your attention to your legs and noticing how your legs might be resting. And noticing what parts of your body might be touching the chair or the couch or wherever you're lying or sitting. And what parts of your body might not be touching at all. Allowing yourself to become aware again without judgment and without trying to change anything. And then maybe when you're ready, bringing your attention to your lower back. Maybe noticing how your lower back is resting in this moment. Maybe bringing your attention to your middle back. You might be able to notice your ribs and how they're resting. Or maybe you don't notice your ribs at all. And bringing your attention to your upper back and maybe noticing how your shoulders are resting. You might notice that one side of your body feels a little different than the other as well. So allowing yourself to become aware of that if that's showing up for you. Maybe bringing your attention to your arms and possibly noticing how your arms are resting. Maybe checking in to see if they're resting on another part of your body. Maybe they're resting on your chair or couch or mat, whatever it is you're lying or sitting on. Maybe starting to bring your attention to your hands and your fingers and noticing how your hands and your fingers might be resting in this moment. And eventually, when you're ready, maybe bringing your attention to your neck and your head. Maybe noticing how your neck and your head are resting. And maybe in your own time, taking a moment to notice how your whole body is resting. Maybe becoming aware of how your whole body is resting. Maybe noticing your whole body as you're resting here. In your own time, maybe letting that body scan go, releasing the attention your mind was bringing to your body. And you might start to bring your attention to your thoughts. So maybe noticing what your thoughts might be doing in this moment. So I like to use the analogy that you're trying to cross the street and your thoughts are the cars that are in a heavy line of traffic passing by you. So instead of stopping any of the cars or thoughts, jumping into any of the cars, or doing anything to get noticed by any one of those cars or your thoughts, allowing them to pass by you while you stand on the side of the road. So imagining those cars are each of your thoughts driving by, and instead of engaging in any of them, you're standing on the side of the road watching them drive by. So the only thing you're doing is being the watcher, you're being the observer and noticing your thoughts as they move past. And you might notice some thoughts about the exercise we just did. You might notice thoughts about what you're planning to do after this workshop. You might notice thoughts about something completely unrelated. And without engaging in them and letting them attach to you, noticing them as best you can, moving past. So I'll be quiet for about the next 2 minutes. So feel free to use this time to observe your thoughts in that visualization of the cars slash thoughts driving by. Or you can also use that 2 minutes in any other way that you might like. When you're ready, in your own time, slowly starting to let that go. You might start to maybe bring some movement into your body, possibly wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe moving your wrists and ankles in circles. Finding any other movements that might be calling to you. So you might want to do a stretch with your arms overhead, or maybe any other type of stretch or movement that your body might be asking for in this moment. Coming back to seated if you chose to lie down for the meditation. And so we are not coming to necessarily a solution, but really the body compass was a way for us to take stock of what is going on in your lives and what might need improvement. So you might see that based on the positive versus negative rating you might have given different things. And with those notes, you can kind of write through anything that maybe if something came to mind during that meditation, you can feel free to journal about it right now. But it's really just a way for you to take a moment to look at your life and see, does everything here bring me joy? And if something doesn't, then maybe there is a change that might need to happen at some point. So really a way to check in and see what's coming up for you. So feel free to take a moment to journal anything that might have come up in that meditation. And then with the next part of our workshop today, we'll be doing another exercise. And this one's called the ideal day exercise. So we'll be doing this ideal day exercise, we'll be doing some journaling, and then at the end, we'll finish off with another meditation. So somewhat similar to what we did earlier. So to explain to you, the ideal day meditation is a visualization, and it is kind of like a meditation. It's a visualization where you, again, come to that neutral state in your body and start to walk through what like the most ideal day would be. And this can be as unrealistic to your present life as possible. So you can really see what comes up. And I'll start to walk you through it in a moment. So taking another moment or two if you need to journal. And then when you're ready, finding a seated shape. You could even do this lying down as well. So if you'd prefer to lie down for this portion, feel free to do so. You can have your notebook handy if anything comes up to journal about, but we'll also be doing some journaling after we do the ideal day visualization. So when you're ready, maybe coming back to that neutral state. So you might close your eyes or keep a soft gaze in front of you. Maybe starting to check in with your breath and noticing how your breath is moving in this moment. And then you might also start to take a moment to check in with your body, maybe noticing how your body is feeling, is resting in this moment. And when you're ready, starting to move through your ideal day. So it starts with you waking up and starting to look around. So what are your surroundings? Where are you waking up? What does the room look like? How are the walls painted or wallpapered? What amount of sunlight is coming in? Do you have a bed where there's someone else there? Are you waking up alone? Maybe then walking over to your closet and looking at your clothes, seeing what clothes are there. Are they different from what is currently in your wardrobe? So if you are able, I know visualization is not easy for everyone. So really doing as best you can with this and visualizing as much as you can. Noticing as many details as you possibly can and want to. So noticing your clothes, what does the space you're in look like? What happens next? Do you walk downstairs to have breakfast waiting for you? Maybe there's other people waiting for you downstairs. Are there other people in this space that live with you? Who are they? What do they look like? What does the furniture and the walls and the pictures in this space look like? How big is the space? Maybe take a look outside. What does outside look like? Are you by the water? Are you in the middle of the woods? What does your yard look like? Or maybe you're in the city. So really noticing all the details that might come, and some might come more visual than others. So really walking through what that ideal day would be. So, maybe you eat breakfast. Then what do you do? Do you go off to a job? Do you go and do something else? Do you have an activity planned? So really taking that time from the moment you wake up and all throughout the day. So what is it you do? What are your surroundings? What does everything look like? What town or city might you be in? Or what does that look like, even if you don't know a name for what that town or city might be? So feel free as you're walking through your ideal day, you can write things down as you're going through it, or you might choose to write things down after the fact. So then if there's a first activity you do, what's next? What does each hour bring? Where do you go for lunch? What do you do in the afternoon? Again, are you going to a job? Are you doing an activity? Maybe it's a day full of fun activities. It might not be related to a job at all. And noticing what people you meet along the way. Who shows up in this ideal day? What people are you living with? What people are you meeting on the street as you walk through your ideal day? What clothes do you choose to wear? What do they look like? Maybe noticing the other clothes in your closet. Noticing if you're the one making your meals or if someone else is making them for you. Maybe you go into town. What does the town that you live in or city look like? Really checking in with as many or as little details as might be available to you. So, what does your afternoon look like? How is that different from your morning? What different things do you end up doing? Or is it the same thing throughout the day? Moving into the evening, what does your evening look like? Again, are you the one making dinner? Do you have someone else making it for you? Are you going out to eat for any of your meals? Checking in on all your surroundings. What do they look like? How do they feel? And also, as you're walking through this day, notice how it makes you feel. Notice what comes up in your body. And since it is the ideal day, most of the feelings associated with this day might be in the positive realm of the body compass. They might not be, but they might be. It's more likely that they might be. So checking in with that too, noticing how you feel. What smells do you smell? What sounds do you hear as you're walking through your ideal day? Who are you seeing? What are you seeing? How does that feel? You might notice any emotions or feelings that come up for you. Becoming aware of what that might be. So checking in with all your senses as you're moving through your ideal day. And when you wake up, what your morning's like, what your afternoon's like, making your way into the evening, what the evening looks like. And eventually finding your way to go back to bed. But what are those things that come up during the day that show up for you? What do you see and feel and smell? Even taste? You can even try to see if you can taste the meals that you consume on this ideal day. Really noticing any and all of your surroundings as much as you might be able to. Some things, again, might be more vivid than others. Allowing yourself to check in with that. So, taking a few more minutes to take notice of your ideal day, walking through waking up all the way to the end of your day and going to bed, and what you see and feel and taste and smell, even. Allowing yourself to notice all of those senses opening up for you. And then, whenever you're ready, feel free to write any and all of that down. So, taking a few moments once you've made it through your ideal day, or if you'd like to do it while you're walking through your ideal day, you can start to write down anything that might have come up. Noticing how that all feels in your body. Once you're at your closing of your ideal day, noticing how your body is feeling, checking in with your body once again. Are there any feelings or sensations that might come up? You can also come back to the body compass and notice if there is a rating you'd like to put on your ideal day or on the feelings or sensations you might be feeling after the fact. So, checking in, allowing yourself to write down anything that came up for you that you'd like to make note of. What about your ideal day was different than your reality? Maybe it was everything, maybe it was only pieces of it. So, also making note of that, taking into account how your ideal day compares with what your present reality is. And it doesn't mean anything good or bad about what your reality is, it's just a way to notice. Notice any changes, notice how anything might have come up for you. Again, journaling anything you might want to, write down how that ideal day came up for you, and writing down anything that came up that you want to make sure to remember. So, taking another minute or two to jot down any notes or any body compass numbers that came up that you would like to mention. Any specific details that came up that were especially notable that you want to make sure to remember moving forward. And especially becoming aware of any feelings and sensations and emotions that might have come up for you. So, taking another moment or two to jot down anything that came up. And we'll start to move into our last meditation of today's workshop. But if at any point in time you need to journal and want to write things down, feel free to do that during the meditation. So, when you're ready, again, finding that seated or lying down shape, whenever you're in that space to come back into a meditation. And maybe closing your eyes or keeping a soft gaze in front of you. And once again, starting to check in with your body. So, maybe noticing how your body's resting. Maybe noticing your breath. How is your breath moving now? Does it feel like it's moving in a different way from earlier? Maybe it's not. And coming back to that neutral space, noticing where you are in this moment. And that ideal day can be a lot of stuff. There's a lot to be noticing and becoming aware of. So, for the first part of this meditation, we're going to do a few different pieces to it. If you'd like, bringing your mind's eye back to your ideal day, but this time focusing only on the feelings and emotions and any sensations that might come up in your body. So maybe noticing how you're feeling throughout that ideal day. How does it feel in your body? How does it feel anywhere else? Do you notice certain parts of your body that it might be concentrated in? So allowing yourself to come to that feeling and really starting to meditate on your ideal day and how it makes you feel. Really bringing the feelings, the emotions to the forefront as best you might be able to. Checking in with yourself. And allowing yourself, if you'd like, to sit with it for a little bit. We'll spend another 2 minutes or so in this space. So again, noticing your ideal day, bringing that to mind, and focusing this time only on your feelings and emotions that might come up. If you want to, and maybe didn't do this before, you can feel free to bring the body compass back to mind and maybe bring a rating to this feeling, this ideal day feeling that might be coming up for you. So starting to notice any feelings associated with your ideal day. Maybe rating those feelings and emotions. Checking in with yourself and taking about another minute to notice and become aware of what that feels like, where it's showing up, and maybe rating on the body compass if you'd like. So whenever you're ready, maybe slowly starting to let that go, releasing the image of your ideal day, allowing yourself to release any thoughts or sensations or feelings or emotions that might have come up with your ideal day. And if you can, maybe seeing if an intention or a mantra comes to mind as a result of your ideal day or as a result of what you felt in your ideal day. So maybe noticing if there's an intention or a phrase or a mantra that might seem to describe your ideal day and or the emotions and feelings that came up with your ideal day. And if you'd like, you can write that down, making note of that. And there might be nothing that comes up, and that's okay too. So know that if there's nothing that's coming to mind easily, that is okay. That maybe there isn't an intention or a phrase that best describes it. And then again, sitting in your meditation, if you did come up with a phrase or intention or mantra, feel free to bring that to your mind as we meditate in the next few minutes. So making that your focus if you'd like. You can also choose to make your ideal day your focus of your meditation. You can also choose to make those feelings or emotions the focus of your meditation. So, whatever you'd like to bring your attention to in this part of your meditation, feel free to do that. Really allowing it to fill your body and your mind, and allowing yourself to notice, possibly. Notice what might be coming up for you. Notice how you're feeling. To notice anything. We'll be here for about another 2.5 minutes. So again, focusing on whatever you would like, whether it's your ideal day, maybe it's the feelings and emotions associated with your ideal day, maybe it's the intention or phrase or mantra that came to you about your ideal day. You can also bring your focus to your breath or your body. When you're ready, you can let all of that go. We'll continue with another about 5 minutes of meditation, but really allowing that to be a space to release everything we did today during today's workshop. So, coming back to that neutral space if you can, releasing anything you were meditating on, whether it was your ideal day, your intention or phrase, or the feelings and emotions coming up, and allowing those to let go in your body. Maybe taking a big inhale through your nose and possibly exhale out your mouth. Feel free to repeat that as many times as you might like. If that feels helpful for you to release, and allowing all of that to let go. And then this last few minutes of meditation, feel free to allow it to be focusing on your breath, maybe focusing on the sounds around you, focusing on something completely different from what we did during today's class. Maybe it's again bringing your attention to that visualization of you standing on the side of the road, watching your thoughts go by, being the watcher and observing what your thoughts might be without engaging or attaching to them. Allowing all that we did today to release and let go. Maybe checking in with your breath once again, noticing how your breathing is now, and whether that has changed at all. Maybe noticing how your body is resting. You might notice if that's changed. Becoming aware of any sensations in your body that maybe were there before or are new. And again, without judgment, without trying to change anything, allowing yourself to notice. And I'll be quiet for the next 2 minutes. If you're ready, maybe slowly starting to bring some movement back into your body. You might start to maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe moving your wrists and ankles in circles. Maybe adding any stretches you might need in this moment. Feel free to move in any way that feels right for you. And that concludes our workshop today. So really the point of bringing in the body compass and the ideal day is a way to evaluate where your life is and how that falls on the body compass, whether you feel joy from the things in your life and maybe there are things that you don't feel joy from. And then also to notice what an ideal day would look like and how you might move and bring change into your life, um, so that your ideal day might become your reality. So it's really a way to allow yourself to notice and become aware for yourself. This is a free workshop I will be offering every quarter, as a way for people to check in with themselves. And if you feel at any point that you need a little more guidance, a little more help implementing any changes that might have arisen from today's class, you can always contact me about doing confidence coaching. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your winter solstice.